we've arrested is Michael Wayne Devon. He's 52 years old. He's charged with capital murder. He has a $10 million bond on the capital murder. He has a $1 million bond on the sexual battery.
Strange Brew does more than brew coffee. I'm Georgia Moore with Take 30 News, and let's see how strange things get.
Touchdowns and cowbells are not the only thing that go up on Saturday. Coming up, find out how local businesses prepare for game day in Bulldog Country.
Called it a sickening performance. I'm Sharon McDuffie, and some in the community didn't like a halftime show.
Picture this, what if your home was being taken away from you? What would your response be? I'm Sydney Moore, and I have why these residents of Pecan Acres are afraid to speak.
A 28-year cold case suddenly gone hot. How Starkville police officers tracked down the man they believed killed 2 women in this house behind me, in the infamous Starkville cold case known as the Labor Day murders.
Well, developing this week, a breakthrough in a 28-year-old cold case. I'm Cash Matlock.
And I'm Stephanie Poole. Take 30's Parker Lee spoke with the chief police about the case. Parker, why and how were police able to break this case?
Starkville police say new DNA science and old-fashioned police work were the keys to tracking down the man they believe killed 2 women in 1990. They held a press conference Monday about their determination to solve this case.
And he'll say, Chief, we need to do this. We need to send this test off. We've tested over 60 different people, DNA, to get where we are today.
The person we've arrested is Michael Wayne Devon. He's 52 years old. He's charged with capital murder. He has a $10 million bond on the capital murder. He has a $1 million bond on the sexual battery.
And while many things have changed since the murders, the house has largely stayed the same. The current owner, who's lived there since 1991, showed me around the house where the murders took place. Police believe they have a good idea of what happened that night. In September 1990, 65-year-old Betty Jones was staying with her friend, Catherine Kriegler, in this house behind me when a knock came to the door. Unbeknownst to her, evil waited on the other side. Police say the killer overtook Betty Jones, slicing her throat, then moved on to the back of the house where the 81-year-old Kriegler was watching TV in her wheelchair. The killer raped Kriegler and left her for dead. The assailant then washed up and left. A time later, Kriegler worked up the strength to crawl to the wall phone and pull it down by the cord to call 911. She was found sitting on the kitchen floor some 20 feet from her wheelchair and was transported to Oktibbeha County Hospital Regional Medical Center, where a sexual assault kit was performed. Sergeant Lott said his inspiration was the family and he took this case personally.
It's been a long journey.
Catherine Kriegler never recovered from her injuries and passed in November, 2 months after the attack. Michael Wayne Devon was arrested in Tishomingo County on unrelated charges. He was 23 years old at the time of the murders. He had an initial appearance at municipal court Monday evening. The district attorney said this case is his #1 priority, and he will push to get the case in front of a grand jury as soon as possible. We will continue to follow this story as it develops in the coming weeks. Stephanie?
Thanks, Parker. If you have any information about this or any crime, police urge you to call Golden Triangle Crime Stoppers at 1-800-530-7151.
Well, can you imagine being uprooted from your home and unable to pay for the move? Take 30's Sydney Moore tells us why this could happen to some local families.
From the outside looking in, it looks like a peaceful area with no problems. But some Starkville leaders want this place gone. Yolanda Austin says she has lived here for over 14 years.
Some of the residents or tenants told me when we got home from work that they had heard they finna sell Pecan Acres. Basically uproot us from our homes.
Austin says she is most concerned about the senior neighbors.
We're concerned about the senior citizens of Pecan Acres. We all have respect for our senior citizens.
What's worse, she says that many of the elderly don't have cars to get around because
Here's Highway 12. Look how easy it is for residents to get to where they need to get to. All of this will be missed if this location gets relocated.
And when it comes to a place of security,
For those of you that may not understand, when you get a place that's safe for you, your children, this is their safe haven.
a safe haven that could be taken away. For weeks now, I've called, emailed, and visited the Starkville Housing Authority and haven't gotten a statement, but according to the dispatch, city leaders are still discussing the issue.
Well, residents of Pecan Acres say they'll be on the lookout for any potential changes, but right now there's just more questions than answers.
Last night, the Starkville Planning and Zoning Commission met to decide whether to move forward on a housing development on South Montgomery Street near Starkville Country Club and the Veranda. People who live in that area raised concerns about the meeting about traffic congestion. The commission voted 3-2 to approve this new development. The issue now moves to the Board of Aldermen, where they will make the final decision. When we come back, we are going to see why one high school's halftime show has a community up in arms. Stay tuned.
A baby's arrival can be one of the most exciting times in a family's life. It can also be one of the most anxious, especially if the child's development is hindered by medical challenges that create more questions than answers. At Mississippi State University, we're groundbreakers in the study of CHARGE syndrome, a genetic condition that leads to a host of life-threatening birth defects. Our research teams are uncovering breakthroughs in treatment and prevention with a goal of greater understanding that leads to better care. We're also providing crucial support resources for parents and helping physicians around the globe gain awareness so symptoms can be detected and addressed earlier. By engaging in this innovative analysis and therapy, we're not only improving outcomes, we're unlocking brighter futures.
Welcome back. Some in the community are calling a local high school halftime show insensitive and disgusting. Take 30 Sharon McGuffey has more on it. Sharon, why are people mad about the band's performance?
The Jim Hill High School Band in Jackson performed a skit taken from a scene in a controversial movie. As you can see, it included fake guns being drawn on cops. Many people are saying this is insensitive to the people of Brookhaven, where the skit was performed, considering 2 police officers were killed there last week. Forest Hill High School Band performs a show where a SWAT team is being held at gunpoint. According to residents of Brookhaven, the timing just wasn't right for this performance. 2 police officers, James White and Zach Morg, were just killed the week before. Austin Showers, a member of the community, wasn't
straight up WTF. Like, hey, people, we have really dropped the ball here. What's going on? Do we need to have a conversation? What's going on? It was one of those things where when I saw it, I cussed in front of my mom. That's something I don't like to.
The performance led to state officials speaking out and Jackson's official dishing out a whole lot of apologies. Governor Phil Bryant tweeted saying this is unacceptable. Public Safety Commissioner tweeted saying the performance was distasteful. Jackson Public School Superintendent released a statement on Saturday saying the band's performance does not depict the values and people in our community and was incredibly insensitive to the students, family, law enforcement official, and the entire Brookhaven community. The mayor of Jackson released one as well, saying it is the responsibilities of adults to offer guidance to youth. Our students should have been instructed that this was neither the time or place for that performance. Bazaria James said she was okay with the performance. She said it was the tweets that followed that upset her the most.
They took that and ran with it. Look, they probably didn't even see the video. They were just like, oh, okay, they're talking about Forest Hill in Jackson? Oh, yeah. And they just ran with it. That was their opportunity to talk about black people. And they did it.
I did reach out to Jackson Public School District office, but they told me they already released a statement. This is the statement that they released. The statement that was released was the same statement tweeted by the superintendent. Media outlets are saying that the band director, Demetrius Jones, has been placed on suspension, but many people are angry saying this isn't enough. They're even asking that the entire band get suspended.
Well, Theater MSU's next play is also raising some eyebrows. On November 14th through the 16th, Theater MSU will be performing Bram Stoker's Dracula. Now, this Dracula will be for mature audiences only, and Blaine Wagamuth is playing Van Helsing.
It is meant to make you feel uncomfortable in the audience. Like, there will be times you're like kind of backing up and literally cringing, and you just feel uncomfortable. And if you do, then we did our job right. The most graphic thing easily is there is a scene where two people are eating on top of another person. I won't spoil who or what is eaten, but it is very like, it's very graphic, extremely, and it will probably make people, that's the reason we don't recommend to younger people, but it definitely will make people even older be very uncomfortable.
After the break, we will see how the Starkville Boys and Girls Club is helping students learn history through art. A closer look at Congress. If you ever wonder what really happens in Washington, take a look at this.
It's what students and faculty are looking forward to that will be added to the Mitchell Memorial Library, and that is Congressman Greg Harper's congressional papers. People within the community of the university gathered together for the presentation of papers ceremony that occurred here on campus. Congressman Greg Harper said this about his papers.
Having access to 10 years of congressional records with so many things and events going on in our nation's history, you'll get a sense for some of the things that we were doing. And if you're a political junkie or you just enjoy history, here now it made such perfect sense for Mississippi State to be the recipient of the congressional papers from my 10 years, because that now gives them 52 straight years of records for my seat.
This is the area where Greg Harper's papers will be located, on the 4th floor of Mitchell Memorial Library. Students and faculty are able to use them whenever they desire. These papers include things such as constituent mail, committee reports, emails between him and other senators, all which are mostly politically affiliated. Francis Coleman, Dean of Library, spoke highly of the papers.
Oh, I think they'll be wonderful for our students, for researchers, for the instructors. These papers mean so much. This is history.
History that will benefit all of whom will use these papers to further expand their political knowledge.
Librarians say they're not sure when this collection will be officially open to the public. They're still working on organizing the information. All right, now things are about to get a little strange, but don't worry, it's in a funny way. Strange Brew Coffee House seems to always have a huge presence before and after game days. They really know how to get with the game day spirit. While they already have a great flow of business, Strange Brew is still gaining a lot more attention. Take 30's Georgia Moore finds out why.
May sit on Highway 12 around other businesses, but eyes everywhere are always drawn to it. Customers flock to this coffee shop for more than their scenery and coffee.
Strange Brew's customers range from Mississippi State students to frequent visitors to even Starkville residents, obviously. But this coffee shop on game weeks knows how to tickle their funny bone.
The albino squirrel isn't the only star Strange Brew has. It's their public sign. And I got to find out who is the mastermind behind it.
95% of the signs come up with by my husband Shane. He is some sort of creative super genius, and he comes up with most of them. I come up with a few of them.
Standing right outside the building near the street is their public sign. Whether you're coming or going, you can never miss it.
Strange Brew has been at this location for 13 years. Back then we didn't have as much social media as we do now, so we kind of used our street sign as the original way to communicate with people in the community. Sometimes we call it the original Twitter because it has a finite number of characters and you have to be able to get your point across quickly, and that's kind of how it started.
Even after those 13 years, Strange Brew is just getting started, and they don't plan on slowing down with their funny signs either.
Also run sign contests, so if there's a particularly fun week coming up, or if we don't have a sign for the next week, we'll ask the community to come up with one. So during football season, the sign contest is run on a website called Six Pack Speaks, and everyone submits their choices, and then we pick a winner, and the person who wins gets a $20 gift card. That's amazing. And they get their sign up, which is kind of more fun even than the gift card.
Strange Brew has a heavy presence during game day, and they want to keep adding more to the game day experience through their coffee and through their jokes. They plan on keeping Starkville just a little strange.
Don't you just love it when your coffee can make you laugh? Well, if you want to keep it strange with the rest of the Strange Brew crew, you can find them on Highway 12 right in between Chick-fil-A and McDonald's. Their business hours start at 5:30 a.m. and they end at 11 p.m. every day. Well, game day brings in people from all over the country, but how does it affect local businesses? Robert Heron has the answer with Take 30 Sports after the break.
Welcome back from break. I'm Robert Heron, and this is Take 30 Sport. I got a chance to go out into the city and get a little taste of the town and ask a local store owner what all goes into preparation for game day. Game day in Starkville is like no other day, and the same goes for local businesses. 33 years of game day precision. That's the standard Bart Wood and the rest of the employees at Little Duty have set for themselves when it comes to serving customers on game day. However, Wood said the operation for game day starts way before kickoff on Saturday.
Well, game days, it starts building, not just today, it starts building on Monday of the prior coming into it. Catering coming up is probably a major thing that we do leading into it. People start calling in, well in advance, weeks out. So, getting that ready, putting all that together, bringing extra staff, compiling those orders, getting it ready, and then bringing
extra staff is a must for stores on game days because stores are not only serving the local, but they are serving the fans of the schools that's in town for the week. Wood even said on game weeks, most of his customers are fans of the visiting schools.
Yeah, Auburn's a big traveling school. Florida last week, it was a huge Florida crowd that came in. We noticed last week with Florida, they started coming in on Thursday. Friday at lunch last week at 10:30, the first probably 50 customers we had last week were all Florida people. Yesterday, Auburn people started coming in early.
Little Dewey first opened up in 1985 and has been a game day must-have ever since. But at what expense is that costing stores like Little Dewey's, Ben 612, and other local stores here and around town? Is security on game day a must-have? Is everywhere on payroll required to come in? What about running short on stock and can't have delicious meals such as baked beans and pulled pork sandwiches? Employee Summer Stephens at Ben 612 told me that business is booming on game day. She said that on SEC game day, you cannot step foot in this door. It's packed wall to wall, patio to patio. One would say game day weekends are very stressful for store owners and employees. However, after that stressful weekend, stores can look back and be glad of the service they provided for the weekend. Reporting in Starkville, I'm Robin Herring, Take 30 News. Now, store general manager Bart Wood told me that sales on game day jumped almost 40 to 50%. Hype team is what they like to call themselves, and they surely was that this past Sunday. The Bulldogs of Mississippi State welcomed them 7-1 Alabama Crimson Tide to start for Sunday. And boy, were we in for a treat. A record-breaking performance by the Bulldogs led to a 5-2 victory, with those 5 goals becoming the highest scoring in game conference play in school history. A key win in SEC play as the Bulldogs continue to try and find the groove as they head into postseason play. Carly Malden, a senior kinesiology major, had herself a game with 2 goals off 4 shots. Her, along with Brooke McKee and company, carried the Bulldogs in a landslide victory.
Watching film against Alabama, we were trying to see their weakness, and their back line is what we were really focusing on. So we just wanted to turn their backs and pressure them, and I think that we really did a good job, pressing them.
Substitution for Mississippi State, number 11, Sam Blanchard.
Yeah, so this win obviously gives you confidence, and we're going to Texas A&M next Friday, so that's a really big game. Coming out here and scoring goals like that obviously gives you the confidence to go out there and perform against A&M.
After the game on Sunday, Haley Zerber was recognized as the first MSU player to get 3 assists in an SEC matchup. The Bulldogs will travel to Texas A&M this Friday for a 7:30 start time in the pivotal SEC match. Can't make it to the game, Bulldog fans? No worry, the game will air on SEC Network Plus. That's all we have for sports. More Take 30 News after the break.
You know the scene in those popular TV crime shows when the investigators show up? The one where they scratch their heads while trying to figure out who committed the homicide and when? At Mississippi State University, we're solving mysteries behind real-life crime scenes with forensic research that's a first of its kind. Teaming with microbiologists from around the country, we're examining microscopic bacteria that can help solve real murders. So far, our partnership with a major metropolitan medical examiner is yielding results with more than 200 real-life crime samples analyzed. We're learning how microbiomes change and relocate, uncovering evidence in criminal investigations by better pinpointing time of death. Way more exciting than being a TV detective. We're finding crucial answers when they're needed most. Solving mysteries with science, that's worth watching.
A community group is using art to teach local kids a lesson they may never forget. I caught up with the Boys and Girls Club of Starkville to see how they're doing it.
So we've introduced Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks to 2 groups, one group of 2nd and 3rd graders and a group of 4th and 5th graders. And we've been working on different scales. And so today's scale is poster size. It's about 24 by 36. And we're looking at creating imagery later on to really address sort of a monumental scale, something on the scale of a small mural for Unity Park downtown.
The poster will transition into a wall mural that will have ceramic tiles. Crager said this mural teaches students the past while introducing new movements like Black Lives Matter.
So this is where we're starting, and it's piece by piece. And one of the things that we alluded to before in this project is how that we may not do any of these pieces perfect. And that reflects how none of us are perfect either. But altogether,
And this is about our community, about really empowering the young people in this community to take part, to participate, to engage.
Community Park is located on the right of Oktibbeha County Courthouse. In this area, you'll find different sitting areas, different pieces of art, and now a new 10,000 piece made from the Boys and Girls Club coming to downtown Starkville.
The background is going to be blue, okay? So no, that's her face, that's her glasses.
It's set to be finished by February 2019.
This October has definitely been a warm one. Now, last week temperatures were on average 10 degrees higher than they usually are this time of year. MSU meteorology professor Jamie Dyer says the warm temperatures may not mean what people think.
Fall and spring, it all depends on the location of the jet stream and high and low pressures. So yeah, it's warmer than normal, but this isn't out of the ordinary. I mean, we can have warm weather into October. 3 years ago, it was very cold at this time of year. Everyone was wearing heavy jackets and the leaves were coming off the trees. This is it's just warm later in the year, but it's normal. Again, we have a tropical system in the Gulf. That's normal. We usually have tropical systems in October. So it is warm. Everyone is just tired of the heat.
Well, this video was sent to us by Jenny Lively from Pensacola Beach, and that's the Pensacola Beach Pier that you can see in the background. Here's a live look at radar through the MSU Campus Connect. Hurricane Michael is bearing down on Florida today. Michael was upgraded by the National Hurricane Center to a Category 4 with winds of up to 145 miles per hour. Michael is the first Category 4 to make landfall in Florida, in the Florida Panhandle in 100 years. All right. Well, that's about all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Cash Matlock.
And I'm Stephanie Poole.